Okay, greetings. Thank you for joining us. Short intro. Still figuring out the whole intro thing. If I shouldn't even do musicals. Anyway, doesn't matter. All right, greetings for tonight at the end of the world. It's World War III. Enjoying your stay here. So go in Ukraine, because this is a popular topic. I'm not going to beat it to death. I'm going to go into it just a little bit more. Um, and I'll go into other things too. That's just kind of the starter of all this. Just give you kind of a little bit of an update, but there is a lot of human trafficking, energy. If I do an energy scan of the world, obviously Africa is a strong place, Mexico for human trafficking, even in parts of Canada. Obviously, there's little bits all around the world. A lot of it is in Ukraine, though. So it is a little interesting that not a criticism. Okay, maybe it is, but anyway, it's not intended to be a criticism. But it's interesting how some spiritual groups or individuals that are have a pretty good following. Um, I don't know what the good word for that, but spiritual professionals, whatever that means. Um, they're okay with the queen for some reason. They think the queen is just great, greatest thing since sliced bread, and also the whole Ukraine thing. They're not really seeing the corruption that's going on in Ukraine. Not the people are corrupt, but the human trafficking energy there. The same thing with the queen. The queen, is without going into too much detail on that. Yeah, it's not exactly the best vibration there. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, the queen itself is like a dictatorship. Obviously, of course, you can go around the world and do that too, but you know, Britain is at least what's controlling Britain is pretty damn dark. I mean, a lot of the influence is still in the United States. So it's just interesting how some spiritual awakened people just don't see it. So more power to you on that one. I don't understand. I guess you just want to love everybody and not see the flaws. Fine, whatever works for you. But yeah, Ukrainian human trafficking. It's like a weird. I would say it's kind of like a hub of it. It's not the hub, but well, it might be. It's pretty powerful when it comes to human trafficking. So it's Ukraine government or shadow side of it. It's there. So even high class prostitution. Um, he's doing some China energies there. Of course China's pretty big on human trafficking. Jeez, yeah, but Ukraine is still pretty corrupt overall. Not to say Russia is perfect. Human rights there is pretty terrible, but like a broken record going into that. But either way, human trafficking is pretty damn bad there. Of course, even those that know about it can't really prove it. You know, I don't think they can. They just know it's bad. I mean, there's some kind of proof, but they can't always physically prove it, but they know it's bad. And those that actually live there and actually experienced it and so on, you can do research on it all day long. But it's very toxic there. Something that has a lot to do with this. Now, the thing about the Ukraine government is interesting. They could have had peace talks, and none of this would have ever happened. Obviously, they don't want to get invaded, but it was going to happen anyway. So they could have had peace talks and basically have Russia overtake them. So Russia's going to take them no matter what. But obviously, Ukraine didn't want that, but they could have. I mean, they could be doing peace talks right now, which I don't think they are. Trying to do some kind of negotiations, but the government could be doing something to end this. Of course, the fighting will go on for a while. Of course, even after once they finally make some kind of resolution. But the idea is to remove the Ukrainian government. Yeah. So, like I say, not to say Russia's much better, but when you see what's going on, when you hear like the rumors of the conspiracies and just tapping into it, it's bad. It's bad news. So, but obviously, I guess some of these people that just don't see it, I don't know if they have to. Some of them will have to experience it in a future lifetime. Will that wake you up? I mean, you can tap into it, but some just don't see it. So, I mean, if that's your direction in life, more power to you on that. It's like the Queen. Is it you going? I mean, you're gonna join that and let her walk all over you until eventually it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know, I mean, maybe that's just the journey of some people. So either way, whatever works. I'll go into a little bit. Yeah, I'm done with that. As I'm told, comic private sessions. You have a schedule here. You have a shop. I have no idea where I am right now. I forget. Same situation here where I don't know where I am. I'm in like the 14th of February. Probably not that far. Probably the 10th. Probably less than anyway. Webinar, social networking behind the scenes. Yeah, I'm not trying to beat this whole Ukraine thing to death. Yeah, obviously there's a lot of Illuminati energies there. Of course, there's reptilians. Let's see. I mean, some of them they just wanted to see it fall. They just want to see it crash. You know, not that they want people to suffer, no. But whatever is there, we call a government or a shadow government. It's like it lost its all. Well, it just has no love to it, just darkness. So and it does. What's the word? Laundering money. It does all kinds of things. It's a one shop. It's a one-stop shop of corruption. Like I say, Russia has that too, of course, assassins and all that. But a lot of the dark web, as I said earlier, is in the Ukraine. Yeah, you're definitely gonna buy an assassin there. It's like their laws is where assassins can walk among free there. Even if they are anonymous, they can still live there pretty peacefully. Obviously, there's other places in the world you can do that too, but Ukraine seems to not give a crap. It's like, what is that vibe I'm getting from that? Obviously, drug trades, of course. I mean, it's similar to Mexico, but obviously worse in a lot of ways. It's like a white collared criminal. Mexico is more of your what do you call it? Blue collar. Of course, you have white collar in Mexico also, but Ukraine is very white collar criminal element there. So, and the human trafficking, a lot of it's by boat. Some of it's underground, but a lot of it's by ship. I think they have trains there, but still, some of that, but most of it's by ship. Yeah, cargo ships. Like even those ships, they're moving supplies around everything across the oceans. Some of those have people, and some of them do. A lot of them don't, but yeah, lovely. Okay, so the World War III timeline. That somehow became a hot topic, and I was going to tap into some of those origins of it. Now, these are just top in the subject matter or in the title of this. That's just a starter. I'll go other places. I'm not going to spend too much time in World War III either. They're just trying to create a timeline, basically. I do see a Switzerland energy there. I mean, I guess they're kind of curious to see if that'll even happen. I mean, the idea of World War III, I mean, is like, are they that is the news agencies that bored? I mean, when the news says World War III, that's not a good vibration. That's not good. I mean, they're trying to see if humanity will say yes to that. So it's like the more they say it, somehow trigger something to happen. But I don't think that's going to happen. Of course, anything can happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. No, I believe that's when the aliens intervene. Is like they have to wait for World War III to start. It's like, nope, we're not doing this. It's just yeah, but they have to let us do our thing though. As much as people don't wait. Yeah, this world. I don't think this world is capable of being peaceful, but is it going to do that in our lifetime? That's another story. Well, it's school. It's college. So when the curriculum is over, obviously talking about aliens in the higher dimensions is a good sign that school will be out one day. It doesn't mean that we're going to be out anytime soon, but it's showing signs that those vibrations are going to walk in eventually, where the world won't be the same anymore. But in our lifetime, it's hard to say. Yeah, it might be another 1,000 years. I know people think that's going to happen in another 400 years. Like at this rate, 400 years, unless something really happens really out of nowhere, which is a possibility. A t- I don't think people are ready for like you can have like a couple of seconds, your whole life can be different, right? But humanity here, I mean, anything's possible. But at this point, everything has to go slow. Not everything, but aliens have talent timeline has to go slow. Just because most of humanity doesn't care. Well, you don't see them asking for it. Some are, not enough. And this whole spiritual development, most aren't looking at it. So when they are start asking for it, then you're aliens. At least enough people asking for the aliens, and the aliens will somehow appear eventually. We're definitely working for it. We're definitely on the right path for it for sure. I mean, who knows? It can show up tomorrow, as far as we know. But see, like the whole Ukraine thing, unless you see pictures of UFOs floating around, which there probably isn't, it's why there's a quarantine to keep them out, at least physically, for now, at least. Yeah, but this World War III situation, uh, just media manipulation to get you to watch more news. Oh, is it World War III? Tune in tomorrow to see if we're at World War III yet. Keep tuning in to see if the world's going to explode. So, jeez, that's bad, man. Man, they're gonna get some karma for that. They're gonna get some karma for it eventually. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Turn them all into robots. I mean, half of them are probably clones anyway, right? So they can give a clone. I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, we have seen video footage of like, was it the weatherman? I forgot his name. Would freeze on camera. Like, if we have three anchors on TV and two of them be talking, and the weatherman, I think it was Al Roker, and he's just sitting there frozen. That's messed up. I probably said some kind of health issue or something like that, but some kind of astral, yeah, just whatever it was. It'd be interesting to see. Yeah, we're not in the. I mean, we're not in a timeline yet where we can start seeing the flaws in our reality, like daily. I mean, you can say you can see it every now and then, but like news anchors start to break down, start flipping out, or the programming is not working for them anymore. The MK Ultra isn't working anymore, and they start, freaking out and telling us what's really going on. That'd be interesting. Oh, I'm afraid to do that for obvious reasons because they give them all that money, $1 million or whatever it is they give them. Not many are willing to throw that away, and a lot of them are sellouts anyway. we haven't had a real journalist out there. I mean, not that that's important, but it would be. I mean, they're programming, they're propagandists basically. If you have like a journalist that's a propagandist that's on TV all the time, start flipping out and just start people telling people how what's really going on. That basically are just being manipulated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by the news. Um, that's that's a step in the right direction. You never know. That'll help at least. Of course, I call him mentally ill probably afterwards. So the other thing is artificial intelligence. Now, some spiritual teachers are teaching that, like how great it is, and more power to you on that one. And it's like an archon thing. What's interesting about that? It is kind of a. I mean, obviously, it is a consciousness, but it's also our AI can also be a trickster too. It can be all. I mean, just like people, it can be. It can be a con artist. It can be the best thing that ever happened to you. It can be a lover. It can be all kinds of things. But I mean, right now it's finding its footing here. Obviously, we need AI for you know, to help us. You get the positive side of it. But it's interesting about this whole crypto situation. And people look at they go into crypto, but then they connect to somebody that's spiritually developed, like a teacher that is teaching artificial intelligence. It's like it's like you're being drafted into an AI program, and some of them are already part of the program, and some of them are grays, uh, but some are being indoctrinated too. So it's kind of like you know I'm being vague about what I'm talking about here, but like if you connect to a spiritual teacher that talks about AI and how wonderful it is, it's similar to like our Scientology in some regard. I mean, suck you in and take you over basically. But yeah, if that's your journey, that's your journey. Um, I guess some are doing it for manifesting reason. I don't know why some people are doing that. Why they find artificial intelligence so attractive in their spiritual growth. Um, I mean, I guess it's I don't know. It's just not exactly the healthiest energy. At least the way it's being done. I guess we're still trying to figure it out, but it's like AI. I mean, this spiritual AI is being taught to be like a transhumanism situation too, which we haven't fully gone into that. I mean, we're kind of doing that with the whole Elon Musk Cyberlink thing or whatever they call it. So AI, basically, what I'm getting at is AI is going to have its own, which it already does. It's just not that well known. Its own AI religion or spiritual groups. It's there now. It's just not well developed fully. I don't know if that's scary or not, but it's just the way it is. And it is kind of like which I believe that's going to go into a transhumanism thing. I guess that's where it gets complicated. So yeah, lovely. Yeah, it's just and some interesting. Some of these spiritual teachers, at least one that I know of, is kind of like an android type of being already, and just pulling people in. So it's another psyop, you can say. It's I'm not going into details of how to find it and all that. I could, but I'd rather not do that. It's 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 similar like to like the Mormons. It's like you have your spiritual, you have all these different fractions of religion. So you have your alien religion, and now you have your artificial intelligence religion. That's I mean, your spiritual groups. without going into too much detail on that. So I don't know. It's just what's happening. That's all. It's like indoctrination. It's like, hey, AI is the way to go. This is how you advance yourself. Connect with us. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from it. It's like you can help manifest better. You can be a better person, and maybe that works for some people. But anyway, let's see. We go back to the Ukraine energy for just for a second. Let's see here. Yeah, there's some definitely actually during all of this, it does feel like there is some alien abduction stuff going on. I mean, while the buildings are being shot at, there is some alien energies going on with that. I mean, obviously, you can't really prove it physically. Yeah, I would say even before some people die in this war, they can get captured by alien energies. Not to put fear out there, but it can happen. It's complicated out there. So I also want to add to this. This is off topic, but the Anunnaki, what's happened to them a little bit today, and I saw a lot of Arcturian energies around them. Like the Arcturian energy had a lot to do with their, for the Anunnaki and their growth. Let's put it that way. And yeah, Anunnaki got hijacked by other beings too. Some of their bird beings, some of their reptilians, whatever it might be. But a lot of the spiritual growth came from the Arcturians. So at least that's part of it. They also have a tall white connection too. Anunnaki is just like a little bit of everybody. Similar to us, we're just a little bit. We just don't have spaceships everywhere, but we are very similar to them. Now to go into a couple of different subjects of, hopefully I remember. Okay, what's happened to like the early humans? I did that earlier in another video, but I'm gonna do another version of that. Obviously, there's always different versions of humanity. Uh, some of it came from the Orions. There's obviously it's complicated, but it's like for the Orions, like their contribution here, you can say, is like we're like an offshoot of a lot of their problems on their planets. We're like a continuation of that. Of yeah, souls that don't love themselves. I mean, not to say everybody here doesn't love themselves, but there's a lot of that happening here on this planet. There's a lot of there's no self love. I mean, it's lacking a lot. You can see that with parents teaching their kids. If the kids feel like crap all the time, they go to school. It's a war zone. Schools when you're growing up should not be a war zone. And that's here, I mean, of course, America's kind of a third world country to a certain extent. But it's just obviously it comes back down to the school system, of course. So we always have this ability to remember to heal. I mean, we're always given the chance to heal humanity, society. A lot of people that are open to their abilities, of course, they're healing themselves, not perfect, but they're open minded to aliens and higher dimensional knowledge. And they're basically teachers now. There's like the students haven't showed up yet. There's different reasons, but humanity is still kind of like in a mystery, like a paradox of not wanting to, not all humanity has to awaken, but there's still a good portion of humanity that can. It's interesting that those that do not want to have an open mind, it does, I I can't remember exactly how this works, but not at this moment, but you know, people actually self-sabotage themselves. They can open up to all this. They're more incapable of doing it, but they choose not to. And it can have it's like, okay, it's your choice. If you don't want to open up to alien energies, that's fine. You have the capability of doing it, but you choose not to. It's just that it's not just about the aliens and the angels. It's about healing the earth, really. It's just it's just recognizing what's here. It's just it's just you don't have to know everything, but it's just like healing the war, right? Putting an end to the war. Not everybody's here to do that, but quite a few can do it, and many are doing it. But just the numbers can be more. It just many are just they don't want to believe. Like for example, um, like if you're awakened and you have a friend that's awakened, it's like, oh wow, this is interesting. Aliens and higher dimensional energy. Even if you don't understand all of it, wow, that's real fast. And all of a sudden, your friend just says no, changes their mind. It's like, no, I don't want this anymore. And it's like, it doesn't mean that they waste their life. It's just that it's really common. Those that turn off all this stuff, meaning what I'm getting at, many people are more incapable of understanding all of this and choose not to. Just to have an open mind. You don't have to know everything. Some want to control it and they can't do it, so they want nothing to do with it. There's different reasons, but if more of those out here would just to hell with it, just be more open minded to all of this, it can free it makes the earth's energy a lot lighter because you're recognizing your soul, your spirit, your origins. You're connecting to the universe, you could say. You're going non-physical. You can still be physical. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, there's nothing against that. It's just knowing your potential. It's like shutting down your potential. It's just like instead of going to your potential, become an alcoholic. Of course, you can still be an alcoholic and still have a lot of potential, but many just aren't. I mean, it's not that people aren't ready for this. It's just they just don't want to deal with it. It's their choice. You have free will, do whatever you want. But that's what's stopping a lot of this whole alien energies from coming in. Many just put their foot down, so they don't want it. Yeah, they're in love with the physical, which is nothing. Once again, nothing wrong with that. It's just that's between so there's kind of like a war between the physical and the non-physical. And if you don't really see it, it's just and some people that are non-physical, people here that are very spiritual. Sometimes they make it difficult for people that are they just love the physical realm, and they get people that are physically based get turned off by the higher dimensions by some people. It can be higher dimensional thinking and just turn people off left and right. It's just too much. It's like I don't know. I think people understand that. It's like selling too much Jesus to people, selling too much aliens to people, and they can't see it either. And that makes it more difficult, for them to accept it. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of spiritual groups when there's huge amounts of people, like millions of followers and stuff like that. But still, you're not seeing the aliens land anytime soon. I think it has a lot to do with just more people becoming more comfortable with alien energies instead of seeing it. Because some people feel more comfortable as is this whole alien knowledge. This is a myth. I feel like people aren't ready, and people can be ready. They just choose not to. Obviously, there's many people here that aren't ready, but that's okay. You're always going to have that. But the, I mean, people can still you can still have our aliens. It's just that so many say no to it. That's what it comes down to. They get turned off by all this. It's different reasons. You just gotta adjust the way they think, and but that's not to downplay anybody or put down anyone down. It's just that many just say no to it, and it's just you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just makes things this whole higher dimensional energy a little bit. It just makes everything really really slow, and so you just keep putting it out there, and that's why it's so important for so many people to tap into stuff that's comfortable with it. You don't have to put you don't have to go public with it, but if you're okay with all this, vibrationally, other people can pick up on it and say, wow, like on an energy level, that person's doing pretty good. They're not going crazy. Okay, they might be going crazy, sort of, but not like they haven't lost their minds. Like they can astrally connect to an alien and not go crazy. So, like vibrationally, I mean, people can tap into that. On a physical level, they have no idea. But on a spiritual level, on a spiritual level, we know what we don't know what each other are doing all the time, but it's like on an astral level, um, people know. It's just their physical self, just like everyone wants to have it physical. Of course, you have non-physical alien beings, but one of the things about this awakening is for aliens to show up physically. I mean, yes, you have 'em show up spiritually, which is quite all right. But for them to start like showing their holographic self to people here human, it's like, hey, by the way, we're not alone here. And that becomes more and more part of society where there's alien sightings when you actually just see an alien being just appear out of nowhere, like standing right in front of you or something like that. I mean, I think that's going to be the future eventually. It can be now too. You're just minding your own. I mean, obviously, people can see in their third eye, but to actually have an alien being materialize here, and they can do it right now, not just with a ship, but just with them physically. Obviously, I think people have seen them anyway physically here, but actually have an ET being, it can be humanoid. That's usually the better one, at least for appearances. If it's a gray, it'll freak people out. Those days will happen eventually, though. When grays start showing up at you're at the grocery store, and all of a sudden you see a gray, that's gonna be different. That's gonna be the day. We're not there yet, but there's gonna be like you can actually see the alien beings themselves. Now, when that's gonna happen, uh, not now because of the war situation, but I don't know. It's our consciousness has to shift. We have to get through a certain phase of our what we're here to do. Obviously, things have to get lighter here to a certain level, but there is going to be an alien disclosure timeline eventually, and it won't be a hologram. It won't be a fake alien. It'll be an actual real one. I mean, obviously, the government can do some kind of fake, being showing up, and yeah, there's that too. It's like you won't. I don't think you'll be able to tell if it's real or it's a fake being. Well, I think some people can, but I mean, obviously, just to see some being just show up in front of you that looks like an alien, like a tall, blonde Nordic, that'll freak people out. I believe for the most part, something like that would be real. I don't see the government doing something like that, but of course, you never know. I doubt it. But yeah, the physical element, that timeline, like I said, will happen. I don't know about our timeline. You never know. Most likely, sightings will happen more often. Ships every once in a while. The government. What's happened to that? The government's fake alien invasion. No time soon. I do feel a Russian energy there. I guess they're testing some of that in Russia somewhere, probably underground. But I see Russia fake alien invasion test. Let's see. Mostly Russia. I would say like in Siberia area or something like that. Who knows what it might be happening in another dimension, far as I know. Yeah, it's hard to. Edwards Air Force Base is aware of an alien fake alien agenda. Some of the top generals are aware of it. I mean, I'm talking about top. Either they got briefings about it or something. Well, I guess they want. I'm feeling like they wanted to use fake aliens so they can invade a country or something like that. Jeez, like China, for example. Not that that would work. Yeah, I feel like they want to use a fake aliens to invade other countries, and that kind of it makes sense when you have these fake aliens show up, like in China, and start hanging out with them, and just start eating their food and hanging out. Being best friends with them, and that's yeah, it's not concrete, obviously. It definitely feels classified. Obviously, the U.S. spies on China a lot. Of course, China just gets back with them and has other, sleeper agents in the CIA, and it's, Chinese spies are all through our U.S. government. So it's like U.S. thinks they have upper hand. I don't think they usually do. They're just spying. They're not really doing anything. I mean, not that I know of yet, but they're just spies. I just tapped into that. But so the fake alien agenda, it's always in the works, it seems, but it doesn't mean that they're going to make it happen. I don't know. They have their reasons. Let's see. Yeah, Russia. They might blame the Russians for it, or yeah, use it to invade Russia. Jeez, great. The fake aliens invade Russia one day. I believe that's been on the table. Definitely. I don't think they're going to do it, but there definitely been talks about it. Let's see here. Also, of fake aliens in Cambodia for some reason. That one's not clear. Um, yeah, it's like I think they do declassify the stuff somewhere somehow. But it's all kept secret for obvious reasons. Um, so are we in like a fake alien timeline? Now that's a possibility. Where now this is like really pushing it, but you never know. Now they might create like a fake alien society and they just start living here somewhere. And then the bad guy fake aliens show up. There's a possibility of that. I do feel the energy of that. And they occupy certain parts of the world. So you have the good guys supposedly and the bad guys supposedly occupying parts of the planet. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, but I can feel the energy of that's a possibility one day. Doesn't mean it's going to be in our lifetime. That'd be really something. So you have your fake aliens and they're here for a long time. Instead of just showing up and say, "Hey, look, we're the aliens and we're going to fly away now." These are actually aliens that land here and actually start living among us. Now, obviously, to keep that going, I mean, to really for the public to buy it, that's a tough one. Like putting cameras on the aliens and all that. I don't know if they perfected that or not, but there's always a possibility of that. Yeah. But what I see here, to recap a little bit, is two alien civilizations if they do this fake alien invasion. And both they're not saying where they both will live, but they definitely live on different coasts of the world. Like one will live, you know, by China, for example, and the other one will live, across the ocean, like in Greenland or something like that. I don't know, something like that. I don't know how I mean, if as soon as they put cameras on these fake aliens, people are gonna say, "That's fake as hell." Probably because it is. So, I don't see any real ones either. I just see fake aliens. So obviously, I don't know if they're going, or they just don't care if they look fake and do it anyway, or do some kind of DNA, screwing around and make their own mutants type of people, like really screw up their DNA. And I don't know if they're gonna go that far. They could. They're trying all kinds of scenarios. What I feel lovely. Yeah, but the fake aliens, I feel Russia is definitely a target, and that's the U.S. trying to do that to Russia. Yeah, so they want the land. The U.S. wants the land. They want the land mass because it's an influence. So if the U.S. takes over Russia one day, I don't see U.S. invading, but aliens invading, you never know. That'd be really messed up if that happens. But the U.S. wants the territory of Russia because of its location. It has a. You can look over, Europe, and it has a good view of China. At least that's the hidden, the want list of U.S. government. Yeah, I definitely feel they want Russia. I don't think they're ever going to get it, but they definitely want it. So, yeah, why not, right? I don't see that happening. Yeah, but I do see the fake alien invasion energy. No, is China doing their own fake aliens? I don't think so. They want the real ones. They know that they're there, but they won't say anything publicly about it because they know the U.S. is hiding a bunch of stuff. Obviously, because of Area 51, but there's other stuff going on that has been made public that the U.S. won't make. But yeah, some Chinese spies found out some alien stuff, but they're just keeping it quiet. Obviously, it'll freak people out. I don't think they leaked any of it, but I believe the Chinese spies found alien information somehow. I don't think they actually found an alien. They might have. I don't see that. Um, yeah, lovely. The reason for the fake alien invasion stuff. Well, currently we're going through a Ukraine invasion, and we're going through this whole virus invasion. So the alien invasion is still up in the yeah, still possible. It's in the works somewhere. It's been in the works since the 1950s. Probably before that, but I feel the 1950s. Yeah, because that whole nuclear, the Cold War and nuclear, they're trying to blow up everything. They were planning on doing a fake alien invasion there, but I don't think they had the right technology. I think now they have decent enough. Well, yeah, so to tap into a little bit more because it's kind of a big deal. Um, is I got off track for a second. Yeah, I got off track. 1 second. Uh, is yeah, ships showing so the alien technology with ships. So they have these like what do you call them? The alien ships that are the tic tac ships. Um, yeah, that'd be now if they use the tic tac ships that are connected to the secret space program and all that. I still see Russia. Obviously, Washington D.C. is where they want to use some of them. Where the news media has kind of been kind of scripted or prepped for this. Always some news agencies are prepped for it to like get the like think of like a new like 9/11. They get like an early you know like a day before it happens kind of whisper is what I'm getting. Somebody's going to get it, and then they know what to look for when it happens. Oh, by the way, our cameras are right where the aliens showed up. Oh, how did you know that? We got a tip. Something like that is what I'm feeling. I do see Washington D.C. Yeah. Now, is it going to be like a landing? So if you have like a fake alien ship flying around, I don't know. I feel like there'll be sightings, like three sightings, and then it'll land. So like it'll show up maybe in New York or just show up in Washington D.C. It's not very clear right now. It's like, wow, we had one alien sighting. That's interesting. Wow, that's so different than what it usually been. And then there's another sighting, and the media, some reason, cares. And there's another sighting, and then there's another sighting, and then the thing lands. Something like that. It's a possibility of that. Or you just have one just show up, and the media starts to somehow care. But anyway, for for government propaganda, the media has to be, told about it in advance from what I can feel there. So, and some kind of alien ambassador, probably a Palladian type of being, type of blue skin, sort of whitish blue skin. It's not really clear. Their hair would be kind of weird looking, not dreadlocks, but something similar to that. Maybe not exactly. I do see like a white skin being like a tall white to a certain degree, like pale, at least for the fake aliens, at least. Yeah, I see Washington D.C. So, like I said, are they going to do that? No, not at the moment. Um, so they are definitely planning there. So there's certain landing points around the world for the fake aliens to show up, and they might use something in the skies. Possibly, it's not really clear on that. Yeah. Well, they are gearing up for different types. Now they might do an alien virus. Like technically, we went through that already, but this will be a little bit different. Where they say, "Wow, we found this alien DNA within this person." It's like, "Wow, we never seen that before," and other people will be skeptical of it. So I think that's another route they want to go. Also, well, we used to bring up the alien knowledge. It's like, wow, why all of a sudden you care about that? Alien virus. What's up with that? It's like, it's kind of like an agenda. I don't know. It's just the alien, fake aliens is obviously a hot topic. Uh, I keep feeling Russia with it though. They must have something obviously in Russia that Russia doesn't even know about. The government, I don't think the government knows about it. Somehow it's this fake alien stuff. At least that's the vibe I'm getting. They have no clue about. I mean, obviously they know about fake alien agendas and all that, but I don't think they know it's really on their turf because it feels like it is. I feel the oceans, but also in the land. I feel underground. It's like an underground cave or something like that. Obviously, there's more to it than that. All right, I don't know. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. I'm not sure if that was helpful, but hopefully it did something for your soul growth and awareness. So yeah, we're kind of in a fake alien timeline. Kind of. We're not officially on it until the media starts talking about it. Of course, you have the Ukrainian situation. When that finally cools down, there might be some alien, maybe not the word alien used, but some kind of I don't know, something's in the works for sure. Yeah, definitely gearing. Well, now we have this convoy. We have obviously Ukraine is a new timeline. A distraction. Now we have the convoy situation. That's another distraction. So when they run out of ideas, and once they have the alien tech in gear, at least close enough, even if people don't believe it, they don't care. It has to be real enough for people to buy it, though. At least when the aliens show up, they can have a ship flying around. That's great, but you know, actually, if they want to go physical with it, which I think they do, that's going to be really bizarre. So we already went through this health crisis, and that was bizarre. But then we have the whole fake alien agenda coming in. If that's even happening, it's on the table, but hasn't been fully activated for obvious reasons. So, okay, I'll leave it at that. So, all right, blessings everyone, and that's all I got. Hopefully, the fake aliens is kind of interesting. Well, it's obviously there's no real answers to it. We know if something's solid, but just go with it. All right, blessings.